And hello, I'm Wakasm today with a Kickstarter preview for Roller Stand Forbidden Adventures. This is the second game using the roller stand system by Pio Games. They are a small husband and wife duo. One of them or both of them is an artist, I think from Germany. They're doing their own thing. And all the art you see for this game is, done by humans, not AI. I know that's a thing that makes people stand out these days, so that's something that I'm making a note of. I don't have a script to work from. The way I record tends to be on the fly, unscripted. Most of the recordings that you see on my channel are one-take playthroughs, usually my first playthrough of a game, unless I'm playing a series, then it will be noted. If you're unfamiliar with me, I am Wakasm, and I play a lot of solo board game content on my channel, both digitally like this for roll and writes or on the board, on a table, with a camera. I also do a lot of video game stuff. So if you're into video games or board games or things with the word game in it, I could be for you. I do my best. I am not professional. I'm just somebody who loves the hobby and kind of does this on the side. If you want to know more about me, I've talked about my journey and what I do on my channel before, but today it's not about me, it is about Forbidden Adventures. So let's get started. So what is the roller stand system? I'll explain what that is in a little bit, but one thing you should know is that this is a campaign. It's a cooperative campaign. There's not a lot of roll and write cooperative games. Supposedly it can be played up to 100 players. I don't know if that would ever happen. I'm not really sure what a good player count for this game is because the multiplayer aspect of it is kind of limited. Again, also, I'm doing a preview with my own opinions. I was not paid for this, so I will say good things. I may say things that, I have criticisms on the game for. I'll be as honest as possible, but my one criticism is, at least from reading the rules, is that the multiplayer aspect is a little bit light. As far as I can tell, it plays the exact same way as solo, with the addition that you can use some of your special powers to help other people, and in solo you can't. So I guess if you played with 100 people, you'd have a lot of powers to spread around, and if you play with 2 people, you'd have a lot less. So I don't know what the ideal player count is, but this would be something interesting to play with like my kid or something to get him into a cooperative roll and write, because right now I'm playing a lot of cooperative games with him. He's 6 and cooperative tends to do better than competitive games right now. So this could be a very good, couple, maybe 3-4 player cooperative game that is a roll and write. You can play it as a one shot, or it does have difficulty levels if you want to go back and try to play through it. But that is the one very unique thing about it. The other is its comic book style that you can kind of see on the screen, which I'll get to once we get further into the game. But the comic book panel layout stuff is pretty neat, and that's something we will talk about shortly. So before I explain the game, let me just cover the campaign story so I can close this campaign sheet off, because we're not going to really use it once we get playing. But there is an introduction, so I'm going to read that, and then I'll explain how the campaign works, and then I'll explain the game, and we'll kind of play through the first scenario together. So as an introduction, as a team of experienced archaeologists, you've made it your lifelong task to uncover the mysteries of the Maya. You've been working for years in the dense jungles of the Yucatan, exploring ruins and documenting findings. During your last supply trip into town, you heard about a cenote. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Actually pronounced cenote. There you go, a new word for me. It's a sinkhole filled with water, recently discovered beneath a temple through advanced laser scans. Cenotes were considered sacred by the ancient Maya and believed to be gateways to the Xibalba, the underworld. Even today, they remain shrouded in mystery. So far, no passageway to this new discovery has been found, but the explorer in you refuses to accept no for an answer, and you prepare for another expedition. First, you must find a local guide, a task made harder by a long drought that is the locals busy with their own struggles. After a long search, someone finally agrees to help, and together you head into the jungle, seeking cave entrances that might lead you to the cenote and eventually the temple above. The first day ends without success. Exhausted, you set up camp. As you drift into sleep, you wonder what mysteries await. So, first point of feedback is this also happened in the other campaign. I don't know, maybe put definitions of words that are new, like cenote, I don't know, new to me. That might help. I guess it's specifically weird for me since I'm just reading this out loud, but last time I learned some new words and names too, because there was like dinosaurs and stuff in that one. So I don't know, you could turn it into like a little bit of a learning lesson there. Anyway, I digress. That's just my feedback for the campaign. So now that we've read the introduction, basically what you're seeing here is this is a campaign sheet, and this kind of is the different difficulty levels. Based on what difficulty level you choose to play, you start with different things. I assume that each player could even choose different difficulties if they wanted. Like I could play on difficulty 3 and my kid could play on difficulty 1, and really the only thing that changes are the rewards you get and also what you start with. For the sake of this preview, I'm going to do it on the easiest, because when you lose, and you know, maybe I can get through the full scenario without losing. I did last time, but who knows? I might not be able to today. But that just means I'm going to start with one of each tool and 5 ideas, which I'll explain what that means in a second. And the basic idea is you're going to play through the scenario and you succeed by completing all the puzzles. You get delayed if you fail a certain number of puzzles. In solo, it's 1, but it's based off the player count. Or you fail if you fail too many. Actually, if you fail too many puzzles, so it's 1 for a single player. But if I was playing with 3 players, if you fail more than the player count, so if we fail like 4 puzzles cumulatively amongst everyone, we would fail and we would lose the campaign. But the idea is, you know, you'd play through the first scenario and then it would branch down into this second scenario and to this third one. The first game, I think, only had 3 scenarios. I'm not 100% sure. So I'm assuming this will as well, but I don't know. By the time this is live on Kickstarter, they might have it announced. But I assume it's going to be 3 scenarios. I only have access to the first one. And again, as a reminder, I'm not being paid for this. I'm just covering it just to cover it. So hopefully this helps you learn. So yeah, that's everything to do with the campaign. So let's kind of talk about the actual scenario itself. So this is what it looks like, and this is what I was talking about, the kind of cool part about this, that I like what they're doing. They kind of create this like comic book style layout for the game where there's a little bit of story, a little bit of thematic things going on with the puzzles. So for like this one, we just found out that we went to sleep and now we're waking up and there's a fire surrounding us. So that's kind of the puzzle for this one. And each panel has its kind of own story. So if it is 3 scenarios, you'll get 12 puzzles, 12 panels that are all connected to, you know, form one story. And that part's kind of neat. The roller stand part of the game is its own thing, and this is the part where whether you'll like it or you won't, it is different and it is its own thing. Like as far as I've seen, no other games are doing this system, but that's why they've kind of coined it the way that it is. So I'm going to play through it. I'm going to teach you how to play, and you can kind of make your own judgment if this is for you. But it is a print and play, which means it is affordable, pretty cheap. So if you just like solo or something cooperative that you can play with other people, that you just need a piece of paper, a dice, and a pencil, you know, I'm sure the price will be pretty affordable. I think last time it was like $7 for the whole campaign. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember what the actual price is, and I don't know what it is now because I'm filming this before the Kickstarter is live. But yeah, go check it out and see if this is for you. So anyway, what are we doing in this game? It's very straightforward. Everyone gets a pen. You're going to prepare 2 dice, which I have prepared here somewhere. There we go. I'm not sure why my dice were missing. So yeah, you're going to roll 2 dice, and if you're playing with multiple people, one person will be the person who rolls the dice, or you could pass them around, but there's always one person rolling the dice. And then you can either start a new campaign, or you can continue where you left off. You can choose your difficulty. There's even like extreme difficulty that if you beat it on hard, you can like make it even harder. There's some rules in that. We're not going to cover how that works, but there are multiple difficulty levels to challenge you if that's your thing. But basically, everything you're doing on a turn is very much highlighted right here for you, this big box right here. And so we're going to cover that right now, and I'm just going to play in real time, my first time playing this adventure. So you'll see any mistakes that I make, you'll learn how to play at least, and we'll move forward. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to roll dice. We're just going to pretend I rolled, I mean, it is random, I rolled before, but we're going to pretend you rolled a 5 and a 1, okay? Next, you're going to check dice. That player checks the remaining stamina charges and adjusts the dice if necessary. This is the weird part that, again, since I haven't played in multiplayer, I don't know how it would feel. But the idea is basically you can only use dice that are available in your stamina bar down here. So for instance, since I rolled a 5 and a 1, I would fill this in and I would fill this in. And if there's ever a situation where the person rolling the dice has nothing available, like if all the 1s were crossed off or all the 5s were crossed off, then they would turn the dice to whatever the next number is down the chain. So a 5 would become a 4, 4 would become a 3, a 1 wraps around to a 6. So this is the type of game where there's wrapping, 1s become 6s in this, but there's, you know, there's ways to adjust your dice in this game as well. But you don't adjust the dice, you adjust the value, which we'll get to. But whoever the main player is, they do this once using their stamina bar, and then everyone else uses whatever the final value is. So if they adjusted the 1 to a 6 right here, everyone would be using a 6 and a 5. Okay, I say it's weird because I just don't know how it would play out. I assume all the same people have the same stamina bar, and so thus it would never really be an issue. You'd be rolling the dice and everyone would know, but I don't know if there's ever a case where these stamina bars would be out of sync. That's the multiplayer part. But since I'm playing solo, it doesn't matter. Also, because we're playing on easy, we start with 5 ideas. Ideas just let you, once the dice lock in, you can manipulate the dice by plus or minus. And again, this wraps around. So if I had a 6, I could use a idea here and make it a 1 if I wanted to, or a 5. But we're going to keep our 5 and 1 for now. And these tools over here, I'll explain what they do once we get back to the puzzle section of the game. So that's these first 3 steps. You're basically checking the dice and consuming the stamina. You're just doing that every turn. Next, you're going to prepare actions. So prepare actions are these 2 columns. Really what you need to know is on your sheet and your sheet alone, you always kind of have 2 actions to work with. At some point, you're going to eventually like be done with a row, and like then you'd be using these 2 actions, and then eventually you're going to be done with this row. You'd be using these 2 actions, and then I might be done with this row later on. And you're basically just always using whatever the highest action is on both sides. And these are all the actions you get for the entire game. So if you ever run out of preparation lines, you basically fail. Or maybe in cooperative there's ways to advance with like people giving you tools and powers and stuff, but general idea is that you don't have unlimited turns in this game. It does feel a little bit tight in that regard, but it's fine. We'll cover how it works now. So when you're taking your dice values, you are putting them on either side, and you can choose to put them all on one side. Like I can do 5 and 1. So to my knowledge, the way the rules read is if I put a 5 on this side, I have to put a 1 on this side. If I'm mistaken, Pio Games can correct me and I can put it in the comments, but I believe that's how it works. If I write something on this side, then I have to put the other dice on this side, and it kind of keeps it can keep a parity between your 2 actions, although these target goals will kind of change things as we go. But yeah, to my understanding, you have to put 1 on one side and 1 on the other side. So in this particular case, I'm going to put a 5 on this side and I'm going to put a 1 on this side. And let me explain what that does. So the whole roller stand concept is that you are preparing, and you're preparing towards a target value. And you basically never want to go over this value, because if you do, you kind of lose all the actions you get from this row. The general idea is every time you roll your dice and place your numbers, you then get to choose if you want to roll or stand after you prepare your actions. Roll would mean that I want to keep going and I want to keep rolling, or stand means I want to stop and I don't want to press my luck towards this number. And the idea is, and I'll just kind of simulate it. Let's say my next 2 dice was a pair of 6s. I'd put a 6 over here and a 6 over here. If I add these up, I'm at 11. I'm not over 12 yet. If I ever go over 12, like let's say on the next turn, I'm forced to write down another 6. Well, what is this? 17 is greater than 12. I would bust and I would lose all the actions I would get from this. So the whole idea is there's a little bit of pressure luck where you're trying not to bust over these target values, but you also only have 5 spots to put dice in. So like on this side, I don't want to do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, because then I'll have a really low action economy to work with. I want to get as close to 15 as possible without going over. So that's the whole roller stand. Every turn, you're either deciding to continue rolling for each preparation side or standing, and then that's when you then jump up to the puzzle and do stuff up here. But for the first couple turns, you're going to be rolling and standing. Okay. And again, after the rolls happen, I can manipulate the numbers to get better numbers with ideas. But after I put in the number, I'm going to circle the number that is relevant in this little directional thing. That doesn't mean anything to you right now, but it will mean something as we go, and I'll explain what that is. But basically, every single number that you put into these circles, you're going to be circling direction. And it also is a little bit hard to get used to. First time I played, I picked values and kind of went with it, but I'm sure as you get used to the puzzles and play a lot more, you'll get a better sense of like what directions you might want to have circled, which will then dictate like what values you put into these circles. Don't worry about it for now. Just know that you're going to be putting a dice value on each side. You can do right and left and right. The order doesn't matter as long as you put one on each side. You're going to circle the value of the number that is in there. If I was to put another 5 in, then it just means that I would not circle a second number. So you kind of want to have different numbers in here to circle as many of these as possible, but I'll explain why that's a thing in a second. So I'm going to decide to roll on both sides. You don't have to write it in. I'm just kind of doing it for your visualness to follow along. And then you end the turn. Once all players have finished the previous steps, any one player starts the next turn. And we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to roll our dice again. So let's do that right now. Weird. Hold on. There we go. I'm going to roll again because there we go. For some reason, they weren't animating, although I got the same values again, so it's fine. So we have a 4 and a 2. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come down here and we're going to mark off a 4 and a 2. All right. So again, I don't know really right now the best strategy other than I know that I want to get as close to a 12 as possible. So I think I'm going to put the 4 over here and I'm going to put the 2 over here. And then we'll start swapping it and we'll start putting larger values on this side and less values on that side. Now I could stand with a 9 right now. And what would happen is I would do 9 minus 6. This is called the subtrahend. It's the number that you subtract. So basically, if I was to stand right now, I would get 3 actions to then write lines in up here. But I want to push my luck, and I'm going to hope that this doesn't bite me in the butt. We have a lot of ideas to spend, so I don't think I can like lose too bad unless I get a horrible dice roll, which could happen. I might lose in the first turn. You never know. But yeah, I'm going to instead decide to roll and keep my turn going. So I'm going to circle 4 over here. I'm going to circle 2 over here. And then we're just going to proceed and roll the dice again. All right. So I got to move this over. All right. So I have a 5 and a 3. So, all right. A 5 and a 3. All over the place right now. All right. I need to do something. I need to erase this. All right. So with a 5 and a 3, I'm obviously going to put the 3 over here. This is going to put me at 12, and 12 is greater than or equal to this. So I am good. Equal is good. We don't want to go over is what we don't want. We don't want this side to be 13, which means I'm going to put the 5 on this side, which is also pretty good for what we have going on here. But I do have to cross these in, 5 and 3. I do have to check them first because eventually I will run out of these values and then I can't take them. So that's something that you do have to pay attention to. I'm going to circle the 3 here and I'm going to circle the 5 here. Now, I'm not sure I love these values and I'll explain why in a second, but we're going to see if we can make it work with what we have going on. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to, so I'm a little bit nervous, but we'll see. You'll understand what I'm talking about in a second. All right, so now that I put both values in, I have to decide, do I want to roll or stand? And I can choose to roll or stand on either side. Like I can choose to stand over here first and then stand over here. I can choose to roll over here first and then stand over here, or I could choose to roll on this side first and stand over there. You can do either side first, and we're going to choose to roll over here again, but we're going to choose to stand here. All right, so let us figure out what that means. So when you choose to stand, all right, there's a few things that happen. I kind of wish they put some of these steps inside of the PDF, but obviously if you have the rules, you know, it's easier, but a nice visual for this would work. But the general idea is once you stand, again, everyone at your table, if you're playing multiplayer, has to say roll, stand, stand, roll, and then you kind of all take your actions for standing at the same time. But first, you have to look, once you stand, you got to do a couple things. So the first thing you have to do is you got to look at the story and understand what's even happening. We probably could have done this sooner, but I wanted to explain what you're doing with the dice first. But the general idea is each area is a puzzle, and you're trying to complete the puzzle to then move on to the next puzzle. And different players, if you're playing multiplayer, could be on different puzzles. Like you don't all move at the same puzzle. Like if I beat my puzzle a turn early, I can move to the second puzzle while someone else is still working on the first puzzle. But here, let's just kind of talk about it. Wake up. We have to get out of here now. And as you open your eyes, you find yourself inside a temple. Are you dreaming? Real or not, you can't waste another second as flames begin to surround you. You need to wake up the others before the fire cuts off your only escape. So every puzzle has some rules and a goal, and they're usually in this area. So here, when we write lines, so basically we're going to be writing lines up here and filling out these spaces like this, like this, like this. And one thing we're not allowed to do for this particular puzzle is we're not allowed to branch our lines. All right, so I can do this, but I cannot do this because of this branch off. Not every puzzle has the branch off, although in this particular scenario, I think they all do. But in the last game, the Jurassic one, there were definitely puzzles where you were allowed to branch. You're also not allowed to touch, which means that none of your lines can touch, and you can't touch any of the other lines. And there's three kinds of lines. There are your lines, regular lines, which is something you draw. Then there's traced lines, and this is kind of what the game does. And this can be a little confusing at first too. And specifically with this scenario, there's already something that I'm not sure about, which Pio Games, feel free to correct me if I'm interpreting it wrong, but I'll get to it in a second. But generally, some puzzles have this little icon that means a reaction. Not all of them do. Like for instance, this one doesn't. So this one, you don't have to do any reaction stuff. But this one does, and the reaction step is what you have to kind of take care of first before you can take your moves. And the reaction step is basically the game doing things to make things harder. So in this particular puzzle, the reaction step is going to be this fire spreading along this dotted line. And we call these lines traced lines. So basically you have your regular lines that you write, you have traced lines that the game writes, and they always write on these dotted lines. And then there are these dotted lines, and either you can always touch these dotted lines. So when it says no touch, it just basically means that you can't touch your own lines, and you also can't touch these traced lines once they're written in. Like once I'm here, I can't come down here and touch this. If I touch this, I lose the puzzle. I'd get a big X on it and we'd move on. You don't have to write the X, but I'm saying I'd write an X on it if I lost the puzzle, or this particular puzzle. And again, for this scenario, I can lose up to one puzzle and get delayed. If I lose two, I lose the scenario completely. All right. So yeah, so whenever you see this, there's a reaction, and you'll notice there's these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll also notice that down here, you have a bunch of preparation numbers up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the reaction, basically the way it works is when you decide to stand, which we're doing here, we're going to cross this off. That just indicates that we are standing, okay? And we're going to do our reactions first. Basically, the 1 is going to get to draw 5 lines. the 2 is going to get to draw 4 lines, and the 3 is going to get to draw 3 lines because of what we have here. And because we filled this up in 3 numbers, the 4 is not going to draw any lines. So we have to remember 5, 4, 3. So what that means is the reaction is that these numbers are going to draw that many lines on this traced line. So for instance, this 1 right here is going to draw 1, 2. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make this a little bit cleaner. I'm going to use red so you can see the reaction lines. So 1, wow, I can draw today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the 1. Now here's the part where I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure this is how it works. I'm pretty sure the 1 and the 2 are basically this flame, and the 3 and 4 are basically this flame. This is the first time I've seen it like this. Like, they don't really like clarify it anywhere, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. They're just assuming that you would understand. I think for a first scenario, this can be a bit confusing if you've never played the game. Since I've played the other adventures, I'm kind of used to it already. But usually they look more like this, where like each number is its own thing and it's very clear as to like what is taking what action. So here, the 2 is just going to extend this line another 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 3 and 4 are going to branch off over here, and the 3 is going to be 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's the reaction phase. That's this symbol right here. This always happens when you decide to stand. Before you take your own actions, this is going to happen. And basically, the idea for this scenario is we have to wake up everybody before like this fire surrounds us. So the idea is that we have to use our actions to kind of write on these spaces to get the things here. So the number here is how many lines have to be touching this hexagon before we get the thing here. So in this particular scenario, like if I did 1 and then 2, that means I get this sleep symbol. And the sleep symbol doesn't do anything for us, but in order to win, we have to extend 5 regular lines from the team start hex to activate all 5 sleep bonuses. So in order to win this puzzle, we have to get all 5 of these sleep things. Also, if I was to get like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I get 2 lines here and 2 lines touching this hex, this just means I get an additional idea. So these can be things that become tools or ideas for you. But the general idea is we need to get these 5 sleeps in order to win, and then we have the opportunity to get 4 ideas if we can make it work. And we have to do it before this fire completely surrounds us on both sides. Okay, so we are on a timer, and the numbers we choose do decide if, you know, how fast it creeps. And I don't know, maybe there's some strategy where like doing what I did and using only high numbers is not the way to go, but we're going to find out. Okay, there is a high probability I already messed up for this scenario, and you'll see why, but we're learning together, so, you know, I'll explain it. So back to what we do on our turn. After we decide to stand, the next thing that happens is we find the last number that we put down, in this case, the 3. We're going to cross this off and we're going to get it. So we're going to get a book tool. Okay. So that's all that is. And then we are going to do the math. 12 minus 6 gives us 6 actions that we can take. So we can draw 6 lines up here. However, we are limited to drawing lines only in these directions. So that's what this is. I kind of have it. Oh, I have to move the dice, I guess, to, you know, let's hide the dice. We don't need the dice anymore for right now. So I can only move south, southeast, and southwest with these actions. And that's kind of where I might have made a mistake here. I might not have wanted to take a 6, 5, or 5, 4, and 3 in this particular case, where I might have wanted to increase like one of them to a 6 or something, because if you kind of look at our situation here, and I've lost my mouse. Here we go. Obviously, south this way or this way is not the direction that we want to go. So can we use all of our stuff effectively here? Well, I don't know, but what we do have is we also have tools, and this is the part we didn't talk about. The tools, and it's kind of actually hard to see a little bit because of where my head is. Hold on one second. There we go. Removing my head. The books let us draw lines north and south. So if I needed a line going north and south, I can cross this off and I get like one free line to draw. And that's in addition to your 6 actions. This lets me draw northeast to southwest, and this lets us draw northwest to southeast. And you can kind of see them right here. But my head is kind of covering that, so I apologize for that. I guess maybe I'll put some reminders over here. I'll do it in red so you can see it. But these are this, and this. So I have it on both sides. That's what those do. So if you're curious what those are, that's what that is. So maybe with these tools, I might be able to get myself out of the jam, but I can draw up to 6 numbers, but I can only draw them at the 5, 4, or 3 direction. So I think the first obvious thing that we're going to do is we are going to draw one line in the 3 direction and one line in the 4 direction and one line in the 3 direction. So that's 3 of my actions. Those are all legal. I haven't had to use any tools to do that. But now I have to make some decisions on like, what do I want to do next? I can draw a line over here in the 5 direction, and I can also do it in the 4 direction, which would get us this sleepyhead right here. But that does mean that I can't go up here anymore. So if I want to get this idea or something, I have to kind of come down this way. So instead, and again, I don't know if this is the right thing to do, I'm going to do my 4th action, and then I'm going to use a tool, and I'm going to use a machete, and I think I'm going to do this. Whether this is the smart idea or not, I don't know. But yeah, we're going to do a machete, and here we go. We're going to cross it off. And that's going to let us draw one free line going from southwest to northwest and northwest to southwest. So now we've done 4 actions, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've done 1 free tool action. So for my 5th action, I'm going to do another 5 like this, and I'm going to leave. I still get this, but now later on, if I have like an extra 6 action laying around, I could kind of come here and I can get a free light bulb. Or maybe I can get the other one over here with another action. So I only have 1 more actual action left, and based on what I have, I can't really go or do anything really efficient. I can't go this way because this would mean I would need a 2. I could go this way, but that doesn't do anything for us. I can't go this way because I would need a 6. But I can use a tool that I haven't used yet, and I think I'm going to use another tool. I'm going to use a rope. So I'm already using 2 tools on the first turn, which does not feel great. But this will let me go in like a this way direction. And I can get a free action up here to go here. And then I can use my last action, which is a 3, to go here. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 tools. So that's 8 lines I was able to draw from 1 turn, 1 stand turn, but at the expense of having to use some tools. And so far, the only progress I've made really is this 1 sleep, which I'll cross off and make it more noticeable that I have it. So that's it. That's the whole core loop of the game, pretty much. You're rolling dice, you're doing standing, so you can draw some lines, but there is a little bit of not foreshadowing, but you do kind of have to think ahead what numbers you need, because if you don't have the right directions, you can kind of get hosed. Now, one thing I didn't talk about, and I could have done this instead, is you also can always trade 2 of your actions to circle another number. I think it's circle. Let me double check. So if I really need a direction, I could have just, instead of having 6 actions, I could have instead had 4 actions and like just circled another number. And that I can always do instead of using tools. But since I have the tools, I decided to do it this way. We'll see if that was a mistake or not. I don't really know. But that's it. That's all we do. And then now the next time I do rolling, I got to put my dice on this line, and I still have to finish this line. So that's it for the turn. We're going to just roll the dice now, and we're going to see what we get, and we'll just play through the game now and see how well we do. Hopefully this gives you a rough idea of how the game flow works. So here we have 2 4s, and you're going to see that I can only have 1 4. So I actually have to have a 4 and then turn the other 4 into a 3. Now, unfortunately, the way my dice app works is I don't think I can switch this to another side. Yeah. So this is actually going to be a 3. It just is what it is. Unfortunately, just have to remember that I have a 4 and a 3 that I have to use this turn. So we'll hide the dice so it's not confusing, but I have to use a 4 and a 3. So right over here, I have 5, 6, 7, 8. So I think a 4 on this side would make sense. Plus we don't have a 4 in our direction pool over here yet. So we'll do that. And then if we can get a 3, that would be perfect, because that would be 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. 3 would be perfect to get the most amount of actions. And then on this side, we'll put the 3. And then we're going to decide we actually can't get a 3 anymore. That's the other, that's actually important to note because of our stamina. So this is another vector you kind of have to think about. But if I get a 5, I can use an idea to lower it to a 4. Or if I get 2, if I get a 2, I can use an idea to increase it to a 3. So I always have that ability to get a perfect 3, but it depends on what we roll. So again, we're going to roll on both sides. We're not going to stand yet, and hopefully we get a 2 or a 3 on this roll. So we did get a 3. We also got a 4, and we are out of 4s and 3s. So these are going to become, the 4 is going to become a 3, which is going to become a 2, and then the 3 is going to become a 2, and it's going to become a 1. So effectively, even though I rolled a 4 and a 3 here, I really have a 2 and 1 to use. So we're going to hide that so it's not confusing. So we are going to do what I said, and we are going to turn that 2 into a 3 by using an idea. And then we're going to put the 1 on this side, and I do have to circle the 3 over here and then the 1, and I have the 3 over here. And then now we're going to stand on this side. We're going to stand over here, and we're going to roll on the other side. So we're going to cross this off. But then we have to do the preparation stuff first with the fire. So it's 1, 2, 5, and 4. So going left to right, 1, 2, 5, and 4. And we're going to see, I mean, again, it seems like a lot of fire. I don't know. I haven't done the math on this. I don't know how bad it's going to be. But the first fire is going to move 1. The second fire is going to move 2. And then this fire is going to creep 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it's going to creep another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I could do the math and count this. I'm sure it's like, I don't know, 12 more left we have, the fires can go. So I do have to pay attention to that. I guess I probably should count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So whatever happens, I can't allow a 14 on my next action turn to make it through. But we do have, let's see, I can choose anything I want here as my reward. And we do have a full 6 actions here, and we have 5 directions. So hopefully with these 6 actions and rewards that, cover things, that it'll be enough. I don't know yet what direction I want, so I'm just going to randomly do this one for now. If it turns out I really want a machete for this turn, I'll just swap it. But yeah, we have, I'm gonna do the smart thing here. I'm going to cross things out with red, so it's very clear that we don't have it anymore. You know what? It's actually not that clear. Let me fix this. Now it'll be clear. So we'll use red to indicate that we don't have it anymore, and blue to circle it, just for consistency purposes. There you go. All right, so we have 6 actions, and I can go every direction except for the 6th direction, which again might be a problem. I don't really know yet. It looks like it's a little bit of a problem here, so I might I might switch that tool and get the other tool. We'll see. But right now we know we need this. We need at least one line on this hex. We have 2 to get this sleep. And we need another line on this hex here. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to use 1 on this. And we're going to get this hex right here. And then I think we're just going to do 2 and get this hex. And then we have 1 and we have 2 circled. So then we can do 3, 4, 5. And that gets us this one. And then now we have one more action that we can do. We need to get 3 on this one, but we do not have the ability to do this without spending a tool. So I said I was going to do it. I am going to do it. We're going to go down here and I'm going to switch the tool that I took because, again, if I was not streaming or not recording, I'd probably be able to put a little bit more brain power into this. But since I am trying to just show you the game, I would have gotten the machete instead. And then I'm going to use the machete right now. Yeah, we've done 5 of our 6 actions. We're going to use the machete and we're going to use it right here to go this way. And then now I have one more action and I'm going to decide to go this way. All right, so I need 2 more lines on this guy. And then I need, we only need 2 more lines on this guy to win. But if I have extra actions, I might be able to get some ideas based off of, you know, what we need. The other thing is, well, there is nothing else we can do. I could have used a tool for this and then I could have used 2 books for the ups, and that would have given me 2 more actions to do this turn. There might have been a path where I could have ended it this turn if I did it smarter. I don't know. Possibly like coming up this way and doing it that way might have ended it. I don't know. But we're going to stick with the decisions that we have. And basically, we're going to have to stand one more time to complete this puzzle, I think. And we don't have this yet. So I don't know why I have this crossed off. So let's fix that. We don't have this idea yet. But hopefully we do. We don't have this idea yet either. All right. So that is the end of the turn. We're going to come back down here. This is all taken care of. So we're now going to roll our dice and we're just going to continue on and see what happens. We have a 1 and a 2. Now we only have 6s and 5s left. So this is basically going to become 2 6s. Don't have a choice here. The 2 becomes a 1, the 1 becomes a 6, and the 1 becomes a 6. So we have to use 2 6s as our dice. So we don't really have a choice here. We're going to do 6 on this side and 6 on this side. Now this does get a little bit worrisome because on this side we can only go to 11. On this side 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 we can only do this. So we're going to have to use ideas to not bust on the next dice roll. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 3, 1, and 6. Or I could just stand with what I have and get my 2 actions, and the 2 actions I need are, what do I need? I need 6s and 1s. So on this side right now, if I was to stand, I could simply just do these 2 and then I would be done with this puzzle. And that might be the important thing to do, because no matter what I roll, because I only have 6 and 5s left down here, I'm going to be forced to stand on both sides, which is not an ideal scenario. Like unless I use a lot, I guess I could turn a 6 into a 1. That is something I could have done. And that could also like prolong standing on one of the sides. And maybe that's what I do. Maybe I use a bunch of ideas here. It really depends on it doesn't matter what I roll. Next roll, I'm definitely getting a 6 and a 5 because I don't have any stamina for anything left. So I can definitely make this work. So we're going to do that. We're going to roll. I thought I had a good plan, but now I have a different good plan. We're going to see if it works out. I got 2 4s, but again, 1 4 has to become a 5 and 1 5 has to become a 6 because that's all the stamina I have down here. We're going to use one idea to turn a 5 into a 4 over here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to use 1 stamina to turn the 6 into a 1 over here so that we don't have to stand twice. So we're going to stand on this side. We're going to cross this out. 6, 10. Oh, I said I didn't want to do 14 though, huh? Let's double check. Let's double check the map because I might lose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. So I'm going to have to use 2 ideas. This probably actually is just going to end up exactly where I was. I thought I'd be able to squeeze out some extra ideas here. Maybe I should have just stood early. But I think I'm going to have to turn this into a 3 instead. I'm going to have to use a second idea, which I don't love. I don't love that I have to do this. Hopefully I don't need that 4. But now the fire will move 1 less space. 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we're going to stand with a 13. So we're going to get 5 actions this turn. All right. But first the fire has to move. And assuming our math is correct, it's going to move 1, 2, 3, 1. And then this side's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So we have 1 spot right here. The fire has not surrounded us yet. So if I wake everyone up, we can leave and I can succeed with this puzzle. Again, you know, I had to use an extra idea to make that work. So let's cross that off so we don't forget. But now I have 5 actions. So let's make it work. I could do 1 6s and 3s on our little direction. I have a little direction icon on the upper right hand. So we can definitely do the 6 and the 1, and that's going to get us the last sleeping guy. And then also we are going to get, it's going to get us the last sleeping guy, and it's going to get us 1 idea. So we are back to having an extra idea, and that's 2 actions. And then can I get any other ideas with 1 6s and 3s? I can do a 3 right here. And that gets us 1 idea. And I have 2 actions left. With a 6 and a 1, I don't think I can get any other ideas. I thought I'd be able to get more, but we're not allowed to branch off, which is a problem. So unless I was to use a tool, which I don't have a 2, so I can't do like 2, 3, and I can't get this. I can't branch off here. I can't branch off here. This one is completely lost because we don't have a 2 there. So yeah, I can get one more idea back. So I kind of just got my ideas back that I spent. I thought I'd be able to come ahead with ideas, but it didn't work out. But we do succeed on this puzzle, so we get to move on to the next puzzle. And also I also get an additional rope, so I have another rope to work with too. All right, so we're moving on to the next part, next puzzle in this scenario. Hope you've got a free hand for me. After escaping the flames, your torch reveals a deep gap cutting through the next room. The most agile team members leap across first. You follow with the others, reaching for the outstretched hands to pull you to safety. So we can't branch off, but our lines are allowed to touch on this one. And basically we have to extend 3 regular lines from the team start hex and have each of them touch or be touched by the end of a different trace line. Only the end point of each trace line may be touched. Trace lines do not continue after touching or being touched by a regular line. So this one's a little bit weird. If you can't visualize it, I guess I'll just explain it. These are going to be the automated preparation, and they represent the whips of your friends. And we are trying to, from each one of these lines, create a path to touch the end of the whip, and I have to do it 3 times, and none of these lines can branch, although they can touch. But if they do touch the wrong way, then we're going to get stuck. And basically this path, if we do it long or weird, we might be able to get some stuff out of this, but it's going to be completely dependent on our dice rolls and how well we can stand and prepare for this stuff. Already we know that we can only go left and up on this one. So that's going to be tricky. Maybe if we can get a 2 in here, that would be helpful. But we only have enough room for four numbers here. And we're on to the next stamina row. So we're going to see how well this goes. Also, we're playing on difficulty 1. All right. So let's roll and see what we can do. So we have a 6 and a 5. These are not good numbers for us. We're going to have to use an idea, I think, here, unfortunately, to not like lose. But we do have new stamina rows, so we have a 5 and we do have a 6, so we actually get to use these dice values this time. I don't know how I want to use them yet. I could turn the 5 into a 4. For this one are not good because none of our lines we want to go down. So if I put a 4 here, I'd get 5 actions, but I can only pretty much do this with the 5 actions. It's like the worst possible scenario. I can only go up, left, up, which if we do that, then this guy's gonna end up touching this whip, which leaves nothing for this guy. But I guess this isn't too bad. I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The problem here is it depends on where this whip ends up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which means that somehow we have to touch this whip with this, and that's also going to be really hard. But we don't have the right tool to fix that, but we could maybe fix it. Actually, we could actually maybe get this guy out in one turn, which actually might not be too bad. So we're gonna try it. We're gonna see if we can make it work. If my math is wrong, then we're gonna lose this puzzle really quick. If my math is correct, then it might not be too bad. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna use an idea to turn this 5 into a 4, which means we're gonna stand on this side, which means we got to put a 6 on this side, or we're gonna make this into a 1. And I think we're gonna use an idea to turn this into a 1 because we're gonna need some different directions for this to work. So that's what we're gonna do. And we're basically using 2 of our 3 ideas. I don't know, this could end up being bad. I'm not sure. I think I just marked off 2. If I didn't and cheated, well, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure I marked off 2. If I'm supposed to have 1 less, then let me know in the comments. Sometimes when I play roll and write games, I kind of am talking and thinking and sometimes make mistakes, but I need all the help I can get. So if I cheated, don't say anything. You can let me know in the comments if I did. All right, so we are going to be standing with this, which means that 6, 1, 4 are our reaction values because this one has a reaction value, but it only has 3 numbers that have reaction values. So we're going to do 6 for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are our whips. They're trying to help us. So now we have 5 actions that we can take, but we also have 2 books, and books are up, down. So we're going to use 1 book right now. Well, maybe like in 2 lines we'll use it, but hopefully my math is correct. So I can only go in 6 and 1s, so I kind of have to do this. 1, I'm going to use a book. 2, 3, 4, use another book. 5, I guess I didn't realize I had to use 2 books there. I thought I only had to use 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 actions. Okay, but we successfully got one of our adventures out, so that works out. But I do have to use a second book, which I did not plan on having to use. I thought I would only have to use 1 book. So it is what it is. My math was not as good as it could be, but we do get a book back, which I also kind of didn't calculate. When we put this 4 here, we're supposed to be crossing this out and giving ourselves a book. So I get 1 book back, so I still have 1 book available to me. And then also, just for consistency purposes, I would have had 5 actions here. All right, so that is it for the turn. Hopefully I did the best that I can do. We are going to roll. We get a 5 and a 1. So with a 5 and a 1, I can't get any more 5s, so I have to have a 4 and a 1 this time. So 4s are bad for us, but I'm going to have to take a 4 on one of these sides. I guess I'm going to do it on this side, and we're going to do 4 and 1, and we're going to hope that I can get a 2 and a 3 on this side, and then hopefully get a lot of actions. If it pays off or not, I don't know, but that's what we're hoping to do. We got 2 1s. That's not good for us either. Probably going to have to use an idea, I think, here. It uses up all of our 1s. 4, 5. I think I'm going to use an idea to make this into a 2. And then I think I'm going to have to use an idea over here to also make it a 2. So we are out of ideas. So if I don't roll a 3, 2, or 1 on the next turn, we're going to be hurting, I think. All right, so let's see what we roll. All right, so we rolled a 6 and a 4. The 4 will turn into a 3, so we got our 3, but we have to use a 6. So a 6 is going to go on this side, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then on this side we're gonna get a 3 because the 4 turns into a 3. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to stand on this side, which means we're going to get 6 actions, and we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 to do with our 6 actions on this side. And we're also going to get a machete, which kind of, I don't know why I did it that way. So now we have 1 tool of every direction to use if we need it. But first we have to do our numbers. So it's going to be 1, 4, and 2 for the 3 preparation steps for the fire, or not for the fire, for the whips. So it's 1 here, but this is already done, so we don't have to worry about it. It's 4 for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 for this one. And these, we don't lose if these like end, they just stop moving. The instructions kind of say it. Trace lines do not continue after touching or being touched by regular line. That's kind of written right there. So now I gotta see how I can best use the actions that I have available to me. I have 6 actions, and I can do 1, 2s, 3s, and 4s. So we're just gonna simulate it. I'm not actually doing it. I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just escape. Well, actually I can't do that, because if I do that, then we lose. I would have to do it from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I would have to use a tool to escape, or hope that we can force a 1 in the 3 spot, which we cannot. I could also do something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then kind of actually do it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is perfect, because this sets us up for basically the whip coming to us, and we can get all these bonuses. So I think that's what we're going to do. I'm not even going to think about it. That's what we're going to do. So let's make sure this is a 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just to triple check, I have access to 1, 2, 3, and 4. So those are all legal moves. So, and we also have a 6 in the 3rd preparation spot right here. So that side is going to finish on the next stand. So now we just have to hope that we can get the right values over here. We have 1, 2, and 6, which actually is all the right values for this side. 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we basically just have to, on this side, stand correctly and get enough actions to get to the next spot. We know that on the next stand, the whip's going to end up right here. So we just need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actions to stand with to be able to leave correctly on this one. So anyway, that's it for this stand, but we're already about halfway through all of our preparation stuff, and we still, and I think I did something wrong here. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I forgot to log one of these numbers, but I don't know which number it was that I forgot to log. Suppose they're all written here, but I might have subtracted. I feel like it was a 4, 3 became a 2, a 1, a 1. I might have forgotten to write a 2, so we're just going to say we used up a 2. I might have forgotten to write up a 4, which would mean that we couldn't have done what we did, but it is a mistake. I don't know how to fix it, so we're just going to move forward. But that's something you got to pay attention to. Make sure you write your stamina so that doesn't happen. We're going to continue. We know what we're going to get because we only have a 2 and a 6, so really the dice that we rolled don't matter because we only have a 2 and a 6 available. And 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we're going to put the 6 over here, and we're going to put the 2 over here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 minus 7 is 4 actions, which is not what we want. Although we forgot to take our bonuses, so maybe I use the bonuses. We did get a We got all three of these actually. We did get a whip, we got a machete, and we got an idea. So I might have to use this idea right now or risk pushing my luck and busting. We didn't really talk about busting, but if you bust, you basically don't get any actions, and you just get the, like, let's say I had to put a 6 here, I would just get this and I would not get any actions. So we don't want to do that. So I think what I'm going to do instead of the 2, I'm going to make this a 3. We're going to use the idea that we just got to make that a 3, and I get one of each of these. And so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 minus 7 is 5. We have a 3 as well. I think I said I needed exactly 5 actions. So we're going to stand. We get 5 actions. We get another rope. Although, maybe instead of using the idea, we'll just use a tool. So we'll keep this as a 2. I have to clean this up a little bit, because I think the idea is going to serve us more than the tools. Maybe this will be famous last words, but I think I'll solve this problem by using one of the tools that I have at my disposal instead. So instead of this, we'll just use a rope, because I have 2 of them, and that leaves us with 1 book, 1 rope, 1 machete, 2 machetes, and an idea, and where we have 4 actions and 1 tool to use. So first, we are going to move the whip 2 spaces, 1, 2, because we have a 2 down here in the 2 slot, and then we have 4 actions, and we basically have access to 1s, 6s, and 2s, which is all in the up direction. It's all the numbers that we want for this. So we're just basically going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to use, for this 3, we're going to use the rope that I crossed off, 4, and then 5. So this one was the rope. No, this one was the rope. But now we have all 3 of our guys. Oh wait, no, we forgot to do this too. Sorry, we don't have all 3 of our guys, but this is a 6. Oh. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this touches right here, which means that we pass this puzzle and we're going to move on to the next puzzle. So this was kind of like a little perfect one. It worked out. And then now, rumble, rumble, hurry, and we must stay together. The moment you step inside the next room, a deep rumble echoes and the walls begin to close in. It feels as if the temple itself has awakened. You must hurry to the exit before the walls trap you inside forever, or find a way to stop them. So we can't branch off, we can't touch. We have to extend 1 regular line from the start team hex, which is this one, to the bottom edge of the grid. So we basically just have to get to here on one of these spots. You may activate the lever bonus hex to ignore reactions for the remainder of this puzzle. So our choices, we can rush straight down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, something like that, and get ahead of this. Or we can rush over here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if we can do that, then we can take our time and grab these bonuses, or we can just, nope out that way. Probably will rush the lever, but it depends on what kind of dice we roll. So we are on a new stamina roll. So whatever we do, this is going to be new. We have a 6 and a 5. High values are kind of good right now. Well, no, high values are not good because we need to go down, and we need 3 4s and 5s. We need 4s and 3s is what we really need. And based on what we got, this is not great for us. I think we're going to turn, I don't know what we're going to do here. 6, so 15 minus 9 is 6. I think we're gonna risk it, I think. So we're gonna log the stamina first so we don't forget. We rolled a 5 and we rolled a 6. We're gonna put the 6 on this side, and we need to make this a 4, I think, with our last idea. We have no more ideas. Well, actually, we always have the ability to use 2 actions, but again, we know the line's gonna move really fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is bad no matter what. So let me explain why this is bad no matter what. I think we're going to lose this puzzle. Because this first, we have 6s in both of these 1 spots for this puzzle. So this 1 is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 before we can even move. which means we have to have 2s and then go down like this. So we have to have 4s and 3s, and we're going to have to go over at least one. We're going to have to use a tool to get over there. So we have to have 4s and 3s for this in order to do this. It's the only way this is going to be possible. So yeah, I don't know. That's what we're doing. I can't control what I roll. Luck is luck. So we have no more ideas. We have to get a 3 or else. We did not get a 3. We got a 1 and a 2. There's a 1 and 2. Can we survive a 1 and 2? So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I can put a 2 here and then a 3 over here. Oops. Yeah. So this is 9. And I don't know. We're going to end up busting on one side probably, which I haven't busted before in this game yet. But I have to get a 3 on this next roll. And unfortunately, I have no ways to manipulate it. So if I don't get a 3, this is going to be really hard. And we did not get a 3. We got a 5 and a 2. So I think this is going to be the first puzzle we lose. So it is going to become a 5 and a 4 based on the way our stamina is working out, because we don't have any 2s or 1s left. That's even worse, because we're going to bust on both sides. I had to have gotten a 3, and I don't have anything else. I used that idea maybe too early. I don't know. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, I guess I don't bust if I do it this way on this side. Or maybe I do it this way. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I bust on this side. Maybe that's okay. Maybe with 3s and 2s, I can do what I need to do. All right. So we're going to stand and we're going to bust on this side. So busting, we just cross this off. We still get our book, but we get 0 actions. So we lost this whole action row, which is not good. This side, we're going to stand. We're going to get 5 actions, and we're going to get a machete. So I don't know. Maybe we can make this work. The reaction's going to happen first. We have a 6 and a 3 for the values. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3. And we have 5 actions, and our values that we can do are 2s, 3s, and 6s. So the 2s and 3s might help us out here. 2s are basically this, and so it's 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. We're gonna have to use a tool. Actually, no, we're gonna back it up. 2, 3, 2, 1 tool, 3, another 2, 2, tool 2. So we have to use 2 books, pretty much. A book here and a book here. So let's go cross off our 2 books. We have 2 books, luckily. 1, 2, and then we also have to use a rope in order to shut the lever off. We're going to use a rope to come. Actually, we can't branch off. This is going to be horrible, because now we're going to have to go all the way around like this. Or no, we don't really have a choice. We have to do it this way, because I needed to have a 4 for this to work, and we don't have a 4 to make this work. And I don't have enough actions to make a wild here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, we could have done it like this, maybe. All right, let's uncross the books and the ropes. I mean, this is less efficient, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Book, rope, book, machete. So these last 4 actions are all tools. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actions up here. So 5 over this way. Tool, 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 tool. We're using a lot of tools to not lose, which means we're out of books. We use the rope, we're out of ropes, and we use the machete. We have 2 machetes left. But that shuts off the valve, or the lever. Whoops. There we go. And now we don't have to worry about the reaction anymore, but we do only have 4 action rows left, and we got to get through this puzzle and the next puzzle. So now we're just going to roll and see what happens. 6 and a 5. We have 6s. We don't have any 5s left, so it's going to be a 6 and a 4. We're going to put the 4 on this side. We're going to put the 6 on this side. We're going to roll again. 4 and 6. But we kind of want 4s and 5s on this side. We have a 5 and a 1. We don't have any 5s left. We have a 4 4 to 3 this becomes. So this is where the stamina stuff comes in and really messes you up. 1 4 1 3. So I guess we're gonna put a 3 over here. 4 3 and a 4. And then the next one is gonna have to be 2 3s. 4 6 7 6 4 3. And then we're gonna have to make some choices based off of what we roll here. We'll be able to do some interesting stuff potentially because we have like we have a bunch of wilds that we can take, but we don't really have a choice. The next roll is going to be guaranteed to be 2 3s, so it doesn't matter what we roll. 3 and 3, so we have 13 on this side. Oh wait, we have 10 on this side. So our choices now are to gamble and hope we get at least, well, we can only get 1 1. No matter what we do, we can only get 1 1. So we should stand on at least one of these right now. Maybe stand on both, I don't know, but we can only do 4s and 3s on both sides, which is not good. It's the way the rolls worked and the way our stamina worked, we were just kind of hosed in that regard. The 4s and 3s are only down and to the right, so we can, and we only have machetes which are down and to the right, so this is not good. I do think we are hosed on this one. We're gonna have to do a wild. So we're gonna have to stand on one of these sides. I guess we'll stand on this side. 11 minus 5. This will get us a rope. We're gonna stand over here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We might have to stand on the other side too, but we can kind of decide the order of how we want to do this. So we can use the 4 to go down. That's one action. So we have 5 actions. That's one action. I have 1 rope. So this will be my rope. So I have 4 actions left. And I can make this, I can choose what I get from this to be whatever I want. I'm gonna hold off on a second. I'll make that decision once I math this out. I can do a 4. That's my second action. I can lose 2 actions to circle a 5. So I have 1 action left, but I gave myself 5. That's the first time I've done this game. And that means I can now go this way. For my last action, I can use a machete to get to here, which gives me another wild. So I have 2 wilds I can give myself. I have to get rid of the machete. I had to use machete to do that. And then I think I just have to use 2 more tools. I have to use the rope that I got and the machete, and I can give myself, I'm gonna give myself one idea. I'm gonna give myself machete back. I don't know if machete's the right one. I feel like it might be though. And when I use the rope, I'm gonna go here. So it's all my actions. And then, no, I need to give myself a rope, not a machete. Becoming a little bit more brain burner than I was expecting for this one, but that's what happened. I feel like the worse you do, the more brain burner this game gets. I have to give myself a rope. So I think now we're going to stand over here. So I don't get the book, but I do get the other one. So we're going to stand over here as well. 6, 10, 13. So we have 5 actions over here, and we're going to get a book from this. And I'm simply going to use my last rope. Wait, no, I had it right before. It was a machete that I needed. Sorry. I'll fix that. I'll fix that in a second. And then I'm just going to use... Wait, no. I can move 6 for free. So 1 free action, because I can move on this side 6s, 3s, and 4s. Okay, that's what I was thinking. So 1, 6. I'm going to use the rope that I gave myself for this. 2. And then 3, 4, 5. And we make it out. We have 5 actions to do that. I got to use my rope. So I'm going into this last map with 1 book and 1 idea and only 2 action rows to get through whatever needs to happen here. So I have no idea if we're going to be able to make it, but even if I lose now, I at least complete the scenario. I'll have to do it in that slow version of it. So basically we're on panel 4, 1 wrong step and it's over. As the stone walls gradually halt behind you, another trap reveals itself. Jade spears move up and down in a deadly rhythm. You'll need perfect timing to make it through unscathed. Whoever brought you here, you'll prove they underestimated you. So we can't break off, we can't touch, but this one has no reactions this time. All we have to do is extend one regular line from the start team start hex to the exit hex. You may pass through damage, however, at the end of a stand, the end point of a regular line must not remain on a damage. Okay, so I can pretty much make a line however I want to get here, but I can never finish here. So like I can finish here, then I can finish here, I can finish here. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough actions. I mean, I can math it out right now. I have one book, and if I get perfect amount of actions, I can get 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So if I get the perfect numbers, which I probably won't get, I can make it out with one book. But I have to kind of go in a straight line, and I somehow have to not end on stuff. But the line that I don't think I can actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I can make it to here with one book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But if I go this way, I can't do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can't do it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So this has to be the path. I have to make it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to make it to here, and then I can make it to here with one book. And I have one, so we're just gonna simulate this with dice, and we're gonna see how it goes. If I can make it work, I'm gonna make it work. I will potentially get one extra symbol if I get a perfect stand here. But in order to do what I need to do, I need 3s, 4s, and 2s. 2 3s and 4s. So that's what we have to roll to make this work. 2 3s and 4s. We got a 6 and a 1. That is not two 3s and 4s, but with a 1 we might be able to squeeze something out. So we're gonna do 6 and a 1. I think we're gonna do 6 on this side and 1 on this side. I feel like I might need to be using my idea now to make that 6 into a 1, because I think we kind of really need to get low numbers, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. We need 2s and 3s. 5s and 4s. I think this is going to be it. I don't think I have any choice. We'll do 4 on this side and 5 over here. Yeah, I think this is going to be it. Because with 6s and 5s are the two directions we don't want. They don't help us. And yeah, these are just bad dice rolls. 2s and 3s. I got a 2 and a 3. 5, 6 though, but here's the problem. I probably should have put the 5 on this side, but it's probably too late to do that. But here's the problem. If I put 3 over here and then 2 over here, I have to stand on this side first to get the actions. And with 6s and 5s, we can't do it. So I think I'm going to use, we'll say we used the light bulb that I have. None of this is good. Yeah. We'll go with my original idea, and we'll turn that 6 into a 1, and we'll see if we can like recover. That's what we're gonna do. We'll say that we'll keep that as a 5. We'll say that this 6 was a 1. This was a 5. We have 5s, 2s, and 1s, and over here we have 1s, 4s, and 3s. We have no light bulbs left, so we need a 2. And I don't know if I've been writing this down. I don't know if I've been marking these down appropriately either. We had a 1. So what, 1 and a 6, right? And then we had a 4 and a 5, and then a 3 and a 2. These are all done too. All right, we have to get a 2 here. If we don't get a 2 here, it's all over. We did not get a 2. So 5, 6, 7, 8. We can do a 5 like this, maybe. 5, 10, and do 13. And 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, because we're gonna bust on this side. So we don't have enough actions. So this is gonna become a loss. Well, this scenario is gonna become a loss. So this one was kind of cool, but I think we made mistakes earlier. I don't know exactly what we could have done better. The dice do kind of control it, but we are gonna say we failed this scenario. Well, we failed this puzzle. We don't fail the scenario though. So we'll go back and we'll remind you how it ends. So we go back to the campaign. We have 3 outcomes. The first outcome is succeed. If we would have passed all the puzzles, we would be doing this one, but we didn't. We got delayed because we failed one puzzle. A few mistimed steps leave several team members limping, but you all make it through. Before climbing the stone stairs, the injuries must be treated. You can only hope the exit's near. So each player gains 1 of each tool and 5 ideas. So I believe the way it works is next game, you'd start with a fresh sheet, and you would start with 1 5. I don't know if you had extra tools, if they carry over. I don't think so. I think it's basically like you always start fresh, and whatever you get here is what you get. But had we won, each player would get 1 of each tool, 5 ideas, and either 1 additional tool or 1 idea. So penalty is not too bad. It seems like you're kind of expected to lose a little bit. As long as we didn't fail 2 puzzles, then we kind of keep going. But again, we were playing on easy too. Like, imagine if we were playing on harder and started with only 1 tool of their choice and 3 ideas, we wouldn't have been able to do a lot of what we were trying to do. So again, there is a lot of luck involved. You know, the dice rolls can play a huge factor. And I think, you know, probably if I wasn't streaming or recording, I probably would have thought a little bit harder about the dice that I was logging. But again, there's nothing you can really do. Like this first puzzle, if you get a lot of like downward numbers, it could be hard to use. Or the same thing in this one, right? Like you have to have stuff that goes down and to the right, but you also have to have the right number of them. This one, we got a little bit unlucky with some of the dice rolls, so we had to kind of go out of our way and use extra actions that we had different numbers. So you can see how like they're all different. They are very thematic. I kind of like this one. I thought this one was the cutest of all of them. Like, you know, you're not really against anything. You just have to leave. But this one was kind of cool that we were able to use the AI, the reaction rolls to get out. This one I think we played really well. This is the one that made me think we were going to beat all 4 of them. But I don't know. I think we maybe used up too many actions in this one and maybe messed up on this one a little bit. I'm not sure. There's always a chance too that I cheated in some shape or form, but I don't really know if I did or not. But it's a neat little system. Yeah, so hopefully this gave you an idea of how it plays. When you buy the full thing, you'd have access to 2 more full scenarios, so 12 puzzles total. You get to chain them one after another. I don't know if the puzzles get really crazy or if they're just iterations of the same idea, but I will say that these 4 puzzles felt different than the 4 puzzles that I played during the Jurassic one. So there is at least a lot of designer expression going on with these. So, you know, it comes down to if you like the roller stand gameplay. I find the roller stand gameplay a little bit stressful just because you're kind of really locked into what the dice give you, and your only choices are put them on the left, put them on the right, and then, you know, increase or decrease them with ideas. And if you use all your ideas too early like I did, then you get really kind of stuck. But it does feel good when you execute appropriately and get out. I just don't know if how well the math is mathed out. Like, for instance, like this first one, it seems very specific that you'd have to get within a certain number of actions. But if you're trying to take the maximum number of actions, like 6 every turn, it does seem like if you do 6, 6, 6, and 6, I think there's 24. I don't know. I don't remember what the math worked out, but I don't know. I guess the variability with the dice here seems like this one would always be really, really tight. I don't know what the numbers are, but I feel like unless you get the perfect directions, you're probably going to always be getting out of this one with like 1, 2, or 3 spaces. But again, I don't really know. I've only played it once. Maybe I played at a different time and I see a different strategy to it, or maybe with better dice rolls, you get out like a whole turn faster. I don't know. Anyway, that's everything. Thanks to Pio Games for letting me preview their game. Hopefully, if you're going to think about buying this, hopefully this convinced you to buy it, or at least at the very least helped you understand how it plays. If you have any questions, you can always ask me in the comments. And if you have any questions about the campaign itself, post on the Kickstarter, which should be live when this goes live. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'm wakasm, and I'll see you next time.